the last 3 or 4 weeks have been crazy. And I can't believe I have to do this video again. This is, I'm sure it must be the 10th time I'm trying to do it. My audio keeps screwing up, my computer keeps crashing. Anyway, the last several weeks have been really crazy. I've had a lot of things thrown at me, and before I was able to, you know, gather the information or decode it or what, something else would come and something else would come. So I prayed. I said, Jesus, I'm not getting it. You know, I see 1551 everywhere, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out. So he answered me. I just felt in my heart that I had to look at my old moon pictures, and I hadn't looked at them since I took them. So I looked on my computer and I couldn't find them, and then I took out my hard drive. Finally, there's about 1,000 files on there. Finally found it. The date of this blood moon that I took the pictures was 2015. So I understood right away. Okay, there's the 15. So I looked through the pictures, and I'll show you a few of them, but by the time I was done looking through them all, there were a few hundred of them. I knew that they had either opened something or released something, or, I mean, this was a big day for them. Okay? And that's why they start their countdown from then. And I'm going to prove it to you. So this is one of the pictures I took. This is like the biggest wow one. And I mean, it's clearly, you know, a demon. Here's his eyes, his mouth, his chin, his neck, shoulders, his arm and hand, and his torso. So I knew in my heart that that September 27th and 28th of 2015 was super important to them. And that's why I was led to get out the hard drive and look through all of my pictures until I found them. And when, like I said, when I found a lot of things in these pictures, so I knew that they had opened or released something. This was a big day for them, and I'm going to prove it to you. So 1551. And that when I prayed, okay, when I prayed about, after I realized what 15 was, I prayed and said, okay, well, what's the 51? Jesus, I don't understand. And I was just about to fall asleep. My eyes popped open, and I knew right away. I had to check the months or the days or something. So that's what I did. So 1551 is 6 plus 6, which is 12. You know, they like to reverse things, so there's your 21. There's your agenda 21. I'm going to prove it to you. So the 15 was for 2015, and it was 51 months, shy a day, and 1,551 days. I'll show you. So our countdown, their countdown for us, began September 27th and 28th of 2015 on the blood moon, which they opened something. And if you count 1551 days from the 28th, it comes to December 26th, 2019. I'm going to prove that too. And I'm also going to prove how, for whatever reason, they've had to add 4 months. they're running behind. So just quickly, I mean, there's a 5 here, but it could be the 15. There's clearly a 5 in here. Here you'll see a J, O, B, 2, 4. Job 2, 4. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yes. All that a man has will he give for his life. Keep that in mind with what's coming up. Okay, so I mirrored and spun it around. So this picture, there's R, A, T, and an S. R, A, T, S. And that's not the first time I've caught them calling us that. If you recall my Boeing video, Decode, which I think they've removed from their YouTube page now, because they know I'm onto them. So that video I think is gone. I can't find it. Here they call us rats, but I still have a picture of the video that they had, and they call us rats. See? Right there. In this picture, there's a 1 and a 5. Here it looks like July 13th or something. I'm not really sure about that, but there's a 15. I just wanted to quickly show you how there's numbers and stuff in here, because in part 2 I'm going to show you more of this hidden number stuff in other things other than my pictures. So here you'll see a face right here. So there's the top, the forehead, the bridge of the nose, and the mouth. There's the cheek. So it's like half a face right here. I'm sure there's other things in here. Okay, so there's a face. Here's another face. There's a little bit that looks like a profile, so like the nose would be here and that's an eye. But if you look frontwards, there's a forehead, a nose, 2 eyes, and a mouth. He's kind of tilted. His head is tilted. And here it looks like an arm and a fist coming out. And it looks like a little face in here. But you'll see, like there's another 5. There's 5, 1. So there's that a little closer now of that slanted face. That's the bridge of his nose, eye, and a mouth, with the arm and the fist right there. So this looks like a face looking down. There's the 2 eyes and a nose, and that's his mouth. Here looks like something with a back leg, a tail, and it's like he's turning around. So there's his head with horns. This looks like shadow people. And here you see another face profile right here. So there's the bridge of the nose, mouth, and the chin. That looks like it could be a 5 and a 1. So here I just wanted to show you like clearly. And if anyone's thinking I've doctored these, send me your email and I'll send you the original picture and you can see for yourself. Okay? This one I know that I've played with because I've mirrored it and likely darkened it. But I didn't do any of this. So if you doubt me, send me your email. I'll send you all the originals. So there's a 5. It looks like a 3. Okay, I just want to show you there's all numbers in here. There's a 3 and an F right here. 3 F's is 666. There's a shadow person. Here it looks like an 8 on the moon, which is your time and space. And this looks like a face. hidden in the dark there. When these black clouds came in, they weren't normal clouds. They were this black. I've never seen clouds like this before. They were very, very strange. So if you turn sideways, this looks like a 1 and a 5. Here's a serpent, a snake head, serpent head looking straight at you. Okay, so this is his nose. That's the side of his face, like a cheek. There's a side, and that's the top of his head. So it's like he's looking right at you. And then here, there's his another one, another face. There's his brow, the bridge of his nose, and there's his nose. There's his mouth. There's an eye, and there's an eye. I mean, you can't get any clearer for eyes than that. And this is kind of funny. It looks like a witch on a broom. But anyway. Looks like a 4 or an X and a 5. Not sure. But there's numbers all in here. Anyway, there's a face and there's a serpent. So here, you'll see something flying. There's the top of his head. Looks like a demon. Horn. Bridge of his nose to the tip of his nose. An eye here and an eye here. And his mouth. Okay, so that's his neck. And a wing, and the wing on this side. That's the rest of his body. This looks like numbers and symbols. It looks like a symbol. This looks like a 3 and a 5. Or a 3 and a 3. Not too sure. But there's numbers in there everywhere. So there's this demon flying around. And here's a face. So it's like a person is lying down. Okay, so here's the forehead, the nose, mouth and chin, the throat, and the neck. Here's the number 12, which will make sense to you in a minute. So here's a black figure flying. So it's like a head and a beak, and a wing, another wing, and the tail. Here's another face coming out of this black hole area. So here's the top of his head, the bridge of his nose, and his mouth is open. Okay, and there's his chin, and his throat, and his neck, and it goes back into the hole. I don't know if you can see that. So this is where the first picture I showed you, where it's starting to take form. Okay, right here. And then there he is. So in this picture, all I did was I cropped it and I saturated these colors a bit to show you. Okay. There's his top of his head, an eye, another eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin, his neck, his shoulder, and his arm, and his hand, and there's his torso. I mean, that's crazy. So there's his face, and his arm, and his hand. And it reminded me of this still shot that I took of in iPet Goat. And this all comes, iPet Goat all comes to play on this 1551 as well. So here, you know, there's the moon, and note the color. Okay? The color and the moon and the blue. So there's the moon. There's the light blue. And there's that orange circle. And it's coming from either in or from his mouth, right there. And there's a face here, 2 eyes and a nose, forehead, nose, eyes, and his mouth. So he's kind of looking down, and there's a horn. And there's another face here, 2 eyes, nose, mouth. Yeah, this I'll explain probably in part 2. So the iPet goat, the video length is 727, and they often hide numbers in their titles too. I'm going to show you that as well. So there's 2, and the release date was July 3rd, 2012. So you take the 7 and the 2 and you reverse it. It's 27. Take the 2 and the 7 is 9. 7, 3, 1 and 2 is 15. Which gives you 27, 9, 15. And there's your September 27th, 2015. Which is when I said that they started all this. So they knew in 2012. Well, they knew a long time ago. But definitely in 2012, they knew that September 27th, the blood moon, was going to be very important. And it was going to start something, or maybe start the end. So there you go. September 27th, they knew back then. So there's just a couple more before I show you how to decode. So here it looks like a dragon, even though we're taught that those aren't real. I don't believe that for a second. There's his head, his body, and his wings. So he's flying around. There he is, right there. Top of his head, his nose, his body, and his wings. And there's something else flying here. Reminds me of a demon, really. A head, torso, with, you could just see little bits of wing back in here. Okay, so here we go. September 28th, 2015, the blood moon was huge for them. And that, our countdown started. I'm going to prove it to you right now. And also keep in mind, in 2018 February, they had to add 4 months. I'm going to prove to you. So, blood moon, if you count 51 days, it's December 26th, 2019. Okay? So, the Super Bowl 2016, the commercials, I checked them out. Something told me to check them out. I don't know why, I don't watch football, but anyway. And so February 6, 2016 was the Super Bowl. And then the end date being December 26, 2019. That's 202 weeks and 19 days. Okay? This is a commercial from 2016 Super Bowl commercial. 101 and 101 is 202. The word Texas, those are the numbers, okay, that represent each letter. You add them up and you bring down the 19 and it's 1419. There's your 1419 days. See that? And this aired on February 6th, Super Bowl, 1419 days. And then here, they reverse it. So it's 8 plus 1 plus 3 plus 9 plus 5 is 26. You turn the 16 upside down, it becomes 19. Okay? So there's 16 turned upside down, becomes 19. See the 12 here? Note that as well. So there's your December 26th. Okay, your December 26th, 2019. There's a 10 that I'll explain later. Another one, Taco Bell, from 2016. You add up their numbers. Okay, it comes to 26. You add up these numbers and it comes to 26. You bring down the 19. Okay, so that's the year. So there's a 26, the 19. if you read this backwards, it's Sam Evil. Sam is a Hebrew name meaning sun child, bright sun. So we know how much they love the sun deities. Okay, that's who they worship. Super Bowl 2017. Checked out their commercials, and it's all in there again. And it's not just the Super Bowl commercials. It's in everything. It's in commercials, it's in movie ads, it's in movies, it's in articles online, it's everywhere, and I'm going to prove it to you. So Super Bowl 2017. There were 1,055 days left. So, okay, so Super Bowl that year was on February 5th, 2017. Their end date for us, December 26th, 2019. Okay, so there's your 10:55. Here's a still shot from one of the Super Bowl commercials. Okay, so if you have B8, B9, B10, C8, C9, C10, and Born to be Wild. So if you have all the numbers going across here, I won't go through it one by one because that will take too long. But you can pause this and check it out. So I mean, they have the 10 and the 55. So there's your 10:55. 10:55. They're telling everybody this is how much time. They're doing a countdown. This is their countdown. It's everywhere. There's 10:55. And then if you continue with the numbers, so let me see here, there's 34 and 22. 34 months and 22 days. They're bragging about it. That's their party day. 34 months, 22 days. And if you continue, okay, with the numbers, I mean, you got 2 and you have 10. I mean, it's everywhere. 2 years, 10 months. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, so I'll get back to that. This is the one that really got me. It started with the 15:51. I spent so much time trying to decode it, and I prayed on it, and I said, geez, I don't understand, you know, what the 15, see the 7 and 8, that's 15:51, you know? So after I prayed and he showed me to, you know, check out the moon pictures I had and how they opened something up and how that was starting the countdown, and these two shots completely made sense then. So note the 40, okay? They're purposely showing you they're on the 40-yard line, pointing to the number 40. Now this guy here in this commercial, him and his 3 friends, or they're picking each other up on the way to the football game, and they're saying, we're going to be late. No, we're not going to be late. Yes, we're going to be late. So that was the whole premise of this commercial. So they get into the stands. The coach points to his watch, to this guy. Okay? In the very next shot, the 7 and 8 is there. That's 15:51. They want you to pay attention in between here. At the 40, okay, the number 40, in the very next shot, they covered them. Okay, so if you take the in between the 15 and the 51, okay, and you have the 3 and the 9 and the 6 and the 2 and the 5, blah, 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 it comes to 53, 5-3, that's May 3rd. And I think that they have 2 dates. 2 different events coming, May 3rd and May 10th. I'm not 100% on the May 3rd, but I'm positive about the May 10th. So here we go. And then if you add it this way, the 3, the 9, the 6, and the 2 makes 20. There's your 5 for May. 1, 8, 5, 6, plus 1 plus 7 is 28. So your 8 and 2 make 10. There's your May 10th, 2020. Right there. So they're telling you that I told you the 15 and 51 is everywhere, and they were showing it. Okay, This is before they got up in the stands. He's wearing a number 1 and a 4, makes 5, and his 3 friends. Okay? So, excuse me. December 26th was their original end day, right? They want to add 4 months, which is what all this was about. All this. They're really pointing out the 40. So there's 4 months. So if you add December 26, 2019, which was their original end date, they want you to add 4 months. Okay, so there's May 10th, 2020. So there's a screenshot of another commercial video for 2018, and it's saying 4.5, which is right? There's right there. Okay. Here's another shot of another video from 2018 Super Bowl. They're showing a 40. The very next shot, look, it didn't even have a chance to change. The very next shot, they're setting a reset. So they're telling each other, you gotta add the, here they're saying you gotta add the 4.5 months. Gotta add the 4.5 months. Here they're saying the 40. Okay, so from Super Bowl 2018, the new countdown was 118 weeks, or 27 months. Okay, so February 4th, 2018 Super Bowl to May 10th, 2020. I'm going to prove it to you now that that's their new count. So commercials for 2018. Excuse me. Keanu Reeves did a motorcycle commercial. The whole thing, you got to see it. It's so obvious. But right at the end of this shot, method 143 became brighter. So they're telling, focus on this. So there's your numbers that represent the letters. Okay, so it comes to 11, you carry down the 8, and the rest of them come to 27. So there's your 118 weeks, or your 27 months. 118 weeks and your 27 months. They're throwing it right in our faces, and nobody knows. Nobody. I figured it out. Busted. There's 118 weeks, 27 months. That's the new set date. So all the commercials, well, most of the commercials for 2018 for the Super Bowl was really getting this word out. Here's another one. Everything, this was one of the commercials. So nothing is put there by accident, ever. So there's your 1, 1, and a 6. And there's your 8, 3. Okay? So Super Bowl, February 4th, leaves 100. Okay, so your 1 pointed finger plus 1 plus 6 is 8. 8 and 3 is 11. So there's 8, 11. You reverse it. It's 118. 118 weeks. You're making sure everybody knows. 118. I'm not going to go through all this just because you can pause the video and have a look yourself. But it's the same thing. It comes to May 3rd and 10th, 2020. Another commercial. Super Bowl commercial from 2018. It's in movies. Last night I was watching Elysium again. I'm just kind of sitting there lying on the couch, and this clip comes on. I knew right away. I knew it. So I grabbed my camera and I took a picture. So all these letters and numbers are up here. Now, I was missing a 1. I couldn't figure out what it was. It took me about, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There it is right there. I needed that 1, and it's right there. It doesn't even make sense in this shot. They just placed it there. It's upside down. So there's your 1 right there. All of that adds up, okay, to 1551. Back in 2013, they were gearing up, all excited for the countdown to start. The countdown of 1551. Here's another commercial from the Super Bowl 2018. And again, you take, this is for Annihilation, the movie. Take all the numbers, I won't go through it, you can check it out. But it all comes to May 10th, 2020. That's their new date of Annihilation, basically. And May 10th and 3rd, 2020. It's right in your face. The presidential alert, 2 plus 18 is 20. It ran for 1 minute, and it says Wednesday. Wednesday is the 4th day of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 4 plus 1 is 5. There's your May. And October is the 10th month. So there's your 10th and your 3rd, which is right here. So it's basically saying May 10th and 3rd, 2020. Again, an iPet goat, which I'm going to do more on in part 2. Excuse me. If you look at his forehead, which isn't here, it's not like this during the video. Okay, it's got the eye or whatever. But here you have a 1 and a 5. And if you see there's a second line, so you know there's another 5 and a 1. It's 15, 51 right there. And then if you look at the clouds here, you'll see a 1 and a 9. Because when they made this movie, countdown was still the year 2019. And if you take a look at this screenshot, you see this, it's like the skin people, like just the skin of people right here. All part of this cloud. And here you see a demon, and he's basically holding him up. He's basically shooting him up. Which makes me kind of wonder, really, because, you know, in the video, iPet Goat 2, it looks like he's made of wood, like almost like a puppet, right? Which kind of makes sense. You have the demon kind of, anyway. And this, it looks like a sheep. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's definitely a demon here with his arm, just like the one in my photo. And it's in your online articles as well. So this, you really should read this. You gotta read this Game of Thrones article. They are 100% telling us, or each other, what's coming. You really should go and read it. But this came out, okay, on November 1st, this article. And that's the new end date, right? So it's 79 weeks, 3 days. So I can't go with a live thing with this because my computer keeps crashing. See, look at this down here. They keep knocking me off the internet like 100 times. It's probably going to take me 2 hours to get this up on YouTube. But anyway, in the article, if you highlight and go through important words and numbers and write them down in order, you get 79 weeks, and then there's a 5, which is May, the 3rd, which is the 3rd of May, there's a 20 for the year 2020, and the 10th. So go through the article and you'll see. Sorry I can't do it with you. I'll try and do it on the next one. Maybe it'll work. But it says right at the beginning of this article, if you look down in the article, right away it tells you 79 weeks left. So this article came out today, November 11th, 2018. Again, I had to take a screenshot, sorry. And if you take the keywords from the beginning of this article, it tells you exactly. Okay, so there's 78 weeks as of today. So we have 78 weeks left. So in the article, I'll show you what I do. You go through and you catch the important words. So there's 9. So you write down a 9. Okay. Here it says 2 bodies, so there's 2. So I write down a 2. Friday. Friday's the 6th day of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. So that's in. They use days of weeks. 70,000 acres. I use the 7. Sometimes they might get you to use the 0, but basically it's the 7. So you have your 9, 2, and your 6 and 7. You keep those ones together, and it's 78. It's telling you right at the beginning of the article, there's 78 weeks until May 10th. Right there. Article came out today, May 10th, 78 weeks. Check it out. You guys should try it. In articles, go way back. You know, if you go before Super Bowl 2018, you'll see, you know, a different count. If you check out more recent things, you'll see that it's this countdown right here. 78 weeks. So there's part 1. Okay, I have a lot more to show you. I have a lot more proof that I'm gonna show you, but this is basically it. And I'm so glad that, you know, that Jesus answered my prayers. I asked him, you know, what's the 1551? I was seeing it everywhere, and he guided me to these pictures. Okay, and showing me. I never really looked at them like that before. I have a lot more. I'll do a separate video on it with a lot more faces and stuff, but this is the main one. And I never really looked at them with, you know, the new eyes, and looking through them, I knew that they opened something. They opened something, or they started something, or they released something, and I knew right away that that blood moon, September 27th and 28th of 2015, was a big day for them. So I'm very grateful that he answered my prayers, and I must have made this video at least 10 times, so I hope this worked. If not, I think you might just end up getting it the way it is, because the more and more I do it, the more and more I think I'm leaving out, and I don't want that to happen. So part 2 is going to come with more proof. Keep in mind, it's everywhere. Okay, it's in commercials, online articles, it's in movies, it's everywhere. And I just figured it out. 1551 days from the blood moon where they released or opened something and started something. So take care, and I should have part 2 in the next couple days.